Bohemia was a luscious paradise of massive sweeping landscapes, and we in Kingdom Come Deliverance are going to be able to play in just over 16,000 meters of it. But what does the mapped area of landscape we will be playing in look like? My name is Stalli111 and welcome back to Kingdom Talk. Today I take on the challenge of figuring out the map of which we will be playing in. Obviously I'm not smart enough to take on such a task on my own, so I'm using some of the community's knowledge too. There's a very interesting discussion on the Kingdom Come forums that was based on the potential map. I will be taking some info from our discussion on the forum and produce to you guys, the audience, the map of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Just before I get into this video properly, I wanted to give you a warning that this is not 100% accurate and is unofficial. The map is drawn up by fans, but thankfully there is a but. The game devs have hinted that it is pretty goddamn close, so for now it's the best we've got. This is the map of the whole of Bohemia, but this is much too big for us to properly look at for Kingdom Come Deliverance map. So, to start off with, I'll show you the first draft of the community made map. It was designed on the description from the Warhorse update video about the environment, and also using some background blurred images for some referential guide. So, the place located about 2/3 up, known as Samops, is another name for Samopesh, the village that we're currently playing in within the alpha. From experiencing the alpha, we know for sure that there will be two routes going from the southwest of that village, which are fairly represented well here in this map. One of these routes heads to Saksava, one of the major settlements within the game. So you're probably wondering if there are any major things still in the area in real life for some reference. Well, yes, there are a few buildings and castle remains, but there's one very famous monastery at Saksava. The Saksava monastery was founded by a man, Hermit Prokop, at the beginning of the 11th century, but it was most famous for being a host of some very unique art pieces. Sadly, during the Hussite Wars in the 15th century, the monks of the monastery were expelled, and the monastery was plundered. But not completely, as it still partially stands today. This is it now, and this is what it would look like back then, what we think at least. We should expect the monastery to still be standing well in the game, at its peak with some very flourishing artistic walls. This is possibly where the in-game self-portrait gift for the largest backers will go. Who knows? Some people have been concerned about the scale of the map, but to be honest, they shouldn't have anything to worry about. As a forum user states, you can't compare the map to the likes of GTA 5 or even Skyrim for that matter, as they have fast travel points or cars, and cars are much faster than walking, running, or riding across the landscape on a horse. So your time's still going to get taken up. The community have even looked into some of the release screenshots and whereabouts they are on this drawn up map. These three all seem to be concentrating on the Ratajé castle. Even just taking another look at the screenshots, you can tell it's not going to be a small game. With forests going on as far as the eye can see, it is definitely going to take a long time to explore the whole world. And there is more. Remember folks, this is just the Act 1 map. We have still got potentially 2 more areas of land which could be bigger than this, or even add in an extra chunk to this one. So don't worry, they know what they're doing. Another problem people keep on returning to is the scale of the map, and people thinking that if it's so small, the game won't be that long. Well, that's definitely not the case. There will be loads to do, and I can see myself playing this game for possibly even over 100 hours, if I get really immersed like I have been in the alpha so far. Most, if not all, of the quests are human-made by Warhorse, and will all have meaning to the actual story. Unlike Skyrim, which keeps on popping up for some reason. Skyrim has a random encounter sort of system, where you get clones of similar quests all over the place, with a slight variable change, to give the illusion of a different quest. But Kingdom Come won't be like that at all. And if you're not convinced that the game will take you a while to travel around to do things, just watch over the Warhorse stream or look at the footage right now. It takes Dan Vavra quite a while to ride from Ratajé to the stables alone. User Anzius on the forums has done a very good job in calculating the distances and times it will take you to travel from town to town, but I won't be talking more about it as he made one mistake at the start of this calculation. The original estimated border was around 9 kilometers squared, but is now about 16 kilometers squared, so his times would be a tad off, but he did a really good job, so if you're on the forums, definitely check it out. I'll hopefully have a link in the description for you for that thread. Talking about the expansion, user Dr. Pully brought the discussion back to life, talking about the map when it had grown to 12 kilometers squared. The map introduced a small town known as Uzais. Sorry if I mispronounced that. The town had a large church in the centre, which has been burned down to the ground during the Hussite Wars, but it should still be standing there in the start of the game. Right, this one is going to be a very difficult name to pronounce, so sorry if I really screw this up. Sreeburna Scalis, I'm just going to call it Scalis, but you'll kind of get what I'm talking about here, was later to be confirmed as Henry, the main character's hometown, which is going to be in the top left of the map from what we've been guessing, if you can refer back to the map I've shown you. So Henry, the main character, this is his hometown, and in this town, Henry's father was the main blacksmith of it. It had many silver mines around it, which were then used to make a large portion of groschen, which was a currency. During 1403, the time where the game is set, the town had a castle, which a knight of King Wenceslaw IV, named Rasek Kabila, or Gilmare, was the lord of it. And he was also the lord of Henry during his time in Scalise. We then found out that Scalise will definitely have the church as revealed with the shot of the game. After we have done a little bit more investigating on the forums and figured out more of the map, we came up with this, the closest so far representation of the map within Kingdom Come Deliverance. But sadly there's always a but. I don't think we've quite accomplished it yet. Looking at an earlier video, we can see the development of the dev's map in the background, blurred out of course. We can see that more of the riverside may be playable, and we could see some secrets within that area too. Who knows? We can also see some small parts of the map during the livestream that are there a little out of line from what we've created on the forums. So that's a little bit off, but it is a very good general idea for reference. The first map that I've shown you is definitely off. As you can see by the current map, it would have to be more of a slant to be in line with the river. And yes, you could call erosion, but it's been, what, like 600 years? It's not going to move that much, of course. Before I go, I'd like to quickly show you a mock-up map that I whipped up quickly, using reference to a map today for locations, moving them slightly off to correspond with time and the characteristics that may have moved slightly over the 600 years that have passed. I know I've not got many places dotted on it, but I couldn't find all the present locations of all the settlements. Also, I noticed Samopesh is not quite where we've been putting it in the proper map. We shall see. And just to clarify before I go, it is on a slightly larger scale. I want to thank the community on the forum for helping me out with this little investigation, as they are very interested in this as well. And it's learning history, so I guess it's educational too. I'm going to leave this on a cliffhanger though, because it isn't the end of the investigation, and there may very well be a part 2 to this video, with the community's efforts in recreating the Kingdom Come Deliverance map. Let's see where the community, and hopefully you joining the community, will take us on this investigation. If you've got any suggestions for Kingdom Come talk, please do tell me in the comments below. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this community video. I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like, drop a comment and subscribe if you've not done so already. I'll see you guys on the next video. See ya.